first hook. Here he comes. This is the Spike Chevrolet. Picture-perfect run, but it's going to be a little bit short for Greg Hathaway as the front end was up, but they didn't have enough horses to get it past 300 feet. Greg Hathaway with a great run right there. The tires up in the air. The weight looked pretty good, but we didn't have the horsepower right there for Greg. Greg, let's talk about that run a little bit right there.
Well, right now we're at such a high altitude, it takes a lot of fuel away from the motors. And where we're at with our fuel system, it's hard to take enough away. So right there at the end, it got a little light. When the motor in on power, it picked the front end up artificially. If it was off on power, it probably took it out the gate, but a little bit out of power and a little bit high altitude.
Well, you're always learning.
Always learning. That's what it takes.
Greer Hamilton out of Lancaster, California. In a 1988 Chevrolet Corvette, 643 cubic inches of Ford power. Yes, an Allen Root Boss motor underneath that beautiful cowling that's in front of this sharp-looking vehicle. Greer Hamilton, always a top 10 performer, was a former NTPA Grand National Champion in the mini-rod class, but he's come up to the wild wheel standing power of two-wheel drives. The California Blast at Greer Hamilton. Has that motor leaned out. You can see that raw alcohol coming right out of those header pipes. And I tell you, the fuel system is a tough figure here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Roush out of Dublin, Ohio. He's had the little yellow truck out. Now it's the little red truck, a tough running Dodge, again with only 541 cubic inches. But Wayne Roush believes that if you hook it to the track, you've got your weight right, the fuel system's correct, then you can be a winner. He's proved it several times on the Copenhagen School Grand National Circuit, picking up a first and a second win with both of his vehicles. We'll see what happens there. With another Super Bowl in the Dodge, the Ram, the little red truck. Wayne Roush just a super run in the little red truck. Boy, I tell you something, you must have it figured out here in Rock Springs.
Well, it felt good. It got kind of off to a lazy start, but I think that was the driver. But once we called on it, it seemed to pick up and go. Went straight.
Wayne, it looked like you took right off from the very beginning.
The launch didn't feel real good, but, you know, a lot of times it just was spinning a little too much, but then it got going.
Nice run.
Thank you very much.
We're halfway through the class here in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and we'll be right back with an incredible second half of a tough run in two-wheel drive class. More right after this. Welcome back to Rock Springs, Wyoming. The two-wheel drive class, 650 cubic inch limitation, running on alcohol. Blowers were allowed, and so far we've got 3 out the gate in a pull-up. Still lots more great action coming up as Dave Deppe gets set to hook the Bad Badger. Dave Deppe out of Baraboo, Wisconsin, in a 1991 Ford Aerostar, and he is definitely loaded for bear. The Bad Badger, a tough rig for him, 298 feet and 4 inches, just short of a full pull. They'll try to work this little problem out, but it might just be the high country air. Henderson out of Stewartstown, Pennsylvania, in a good-looking show-quality two-wheel drive pulling machine right here. Earl, the Papa Bear, runs the Papa Bear pulling team, not only involved in this, but also in an unlimited modified. Earl, a great competitor, and he does have the horses to run with the big boys. We'll see if he'll get in the pull-off coming up. Henderson and a Papa Bear in a top-running Ford. Boy, what a great pull. Earl Henderson and a Papa Bear, you walk it right out the gate. Let's talk a little bit about the run. Didn't look like the whole shot was going to hold up for you.
Well, we came easy with it, and we thank Brian Knox for the motor running right. He hit it right on the numbers with the fuel.
What about your chances in the pull-off?
Well, I don't know. We'll see how many gets out. Brian's going to look at the motor and see what we need to do. Make it go again.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Next up, Miller High Life Express, Gary SELLIN out of Farley, Iowa. Now, he used to be a four-wheel drive puller out of the great state of Nebraska, but he's changed that. He's gone to work with Roger Simon, Steve Olson, and himself. They call themselves the SOS pulling team. Miller High Life sponsored in a sharp-looking Miller High Life genuine machine 1928 Ford beer delivery truck. Team, what are your thoughts on working on this particular team?
Well, I really enjoy it, and it's been quite a pleasure because we can put all our efforts together as 3 different individuals and really put our knowledge together, and it has worked out real well so far, and hopefully it'll work out better as the season progresses and as we get more used to working together.
We'll see what happens now as Gary SELLIN hooks to the sled. We've got 4 in the pull-off. Can we make it 5? It's going to depend on what Gary SELLIN can come up with right here. Right there in a pull-off. Gary SELLIN looked like it bogged down at about 190, but picked it right back up and came all the way out the door. Gary SELLIN, Miller High Life Express. LD Nation out of Pleasanton, Kansas, a 1934 Ford T-Bucket replica. Tough running vehicle right here for LD. LD, the 1989 Grand National champion. His son Brent, the 1990 champion. So they know how to win, and they want to try for the three-peat. But they've got to start here. They're behind a little bit in points, and they need to pick up a big victory here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Perfect run for LD Nation. Bounces to a halt. He's in a pull-off. What did we tell you at the beginning of the show? High horsepower excitement, wheel standing excitement. We've got 6 in the pull-off. We'll have it for you when we return. Hoping of the Sweetwater night for pulling 6 vehicles in a pull-off, and it's been perfect. 6,200 pounds the weight of the two-wheel drive vehicles. They run on alcohol, and weight, as we've seen, has been very important. The front end has got to come up off the ground, so all of that leverage and all of that weight of the vehicle, very, very important. 6 in the pull-off. We started with the 1989 Grand National champion, LD Nation. He's the first hook of 6 in the 6,200-pound two-wheel drive pull-off. distance for LD Nation, the one they'll all be shooting for, 282 feet 4 inches. Super run for LD Nation, driving Brent Sundowner. It drifted a little bit left, but he brought her back to center track. A great run for the Sundowner. Wayne Roush, competitor number 2 here on the pull-off in the yellow T-bucket. Wayne with many years experience and also those little tiny 541 cubic inch cute little motors. But I'm not making fun of the man. He can make it happen. He's done it before in the past. A couple of weeks ago, he finished 1st and 2nd to win an event. Wayne Roush out of Dublin, Ohio, 2nd competitor out of 6 here in the pull-off.